Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? Today, y'all, we're talking about identity. Identify first and outcome follows. Man, we live in a world that is obsessed with performance. We live in a world that's obsessed with optics, that's obsessed with achievement. But the kingdom, let's talk about what the kingdom will do for you. That's what we're going to talk about today. So as you come on, say hello so we can say hello back to you. Let us know where you're tuning in from and whether you caught this during the live or the replay. We're truly excited to be here with you today to help you become who God called you to become. Because He picked us up, turned us around, right? Planted our feet on solid ground. I just like this song, y'all. Y'all know how we like to do it in the morning. All right, so do me a favor. If this is your first time joining us, my name is Cathy McReynolds, and no, I can't sing, but I'm always trying to sing. So we just gonna thank God and deliver to you today what He called us to deliver. But go ahead and hit that share button. Make sure you like and follow. If you have a desire to build a business with biblical principles, that's what we're here to help you to do. And so today, y'all, we're going to get started in a second, give you time to join in. But today we're going to talk about identity. Identity. You got to do that first. So y'all get ready. Go grab your pen and paper. We're going to start in about 5 seconds. All right. Ready? Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's do this. Well, welcome again. My name is Cathy McReynolds, and today, y'all, we're talking about identity. See, we live in a world that's obsessed with performance. We live in a world that's obsessed with optics. We live in a world that's obsessed with achievement. But the kingdom, what does the kingdom say? The kingdom starts with identity, not with what you do, but who are you becoming? It doesn't start with the results that you can produce, but what truth can you confess and walk in consistently? What truth can you confess and walk in consistently? Because your future doesn't respond to who you pretend to be, right? It responds to who you believe you are. Who do you believe you are? So here's the secret about transformation. It rarely starts with action. And a lot of people just get out there and start moving. It starts with agreement. It starts with agreement with God's view of you. You got to know what God thinks about you. It starts with agreement with the unseen promise, agreement with the outcome that He has already authored for you. The word says, "Can two walk together unless they are unless they agree?" And that's in Amos 3:3. See, but when you think about agreement, it needs a voice. And that's where confession begins. That is where confession begins. The tongue, y'all, has the power of life and death. And you can find that in Proverbs 18:21. We say it all the time, but do we think about what it means? See, confession isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. It's getting clear on where you're at. It's the way we come into alignment with the reality that's so much bigger than what we see. And confession is how identity, it will take shape out loud. It takes shape on purpose before it feels secure. So you're not going to always feel secure in that. And that's where your identity statement comes in. You want to have an identity statement, and it is not a resume or a declaration, and it's certainly not perfection. It's just a living reminder of who God says you are today, right? Not who you'll be in 5 years, not what the world expects of you. It's just the truth. It's just the truth framed in the present tense. And the beauty of an identity statement, it grounds you, it centers you, it aligns your thoughts with your calling. And that's the position you want to be. The word tells us to write the vision and make it plain. And that's in Habakkuk 2:2. And that's why we don't wait. We write it. We write every single day. But remember, you're writing an identity statement, not a forever statement. And that's where a lot of us get lost at. It's just for today or just for this week. It's a working model. It's kind of like raising a child, right? From the day they were born to the day that, a week from now, they change so much. Things change, things evolve. And when we think about like rearing a baby, we'll go through that process. But when we think about rearing our lives and getting our lives to where God called us to be, we think it all has to be in order. It's just like the looks of the baby, and the way they act, the way they respond. If you think about their first month in life and all the changes that they go through, that's how it is for you when you're becoming who God called you to be. See, sometimes it can feel clumsy and it might change, but guess what? It will move you forward. And that's all you're called to do. You're called to just move forward. You're not just making declarations. You're not just like, I declare this, right? You're making architect. You're becoming an architect. And it's forever building your inner world to match the kingdom that already belongs to you. And that's what we need to understand. See, just think, this is who I am. This is what I am doing. This is what God is doing in me. And that's a daily renewal. And you can speak that aloud and you just want to say it, but refine it. Refine it after your next battle, because you will go through something. Rewrite it after your next breakthrough, because it will happen. Because 6 months from now, it's not on paper anymore. It becomes so ingrained in your heart. You know who you are and whose you are. He says, I will put my laws in their minds and write them on their hearts. And that's in Hebrews 8:10. And when identity is written there in your heart, you don't have to find it because you've already become it. That's the key right there. So remember, your confession shapes your reality. It said, let the weak say, I am strong. Let the weak say, I am strong. Not that I'm weak. And that's in Joel 3:10. Speak what's truth in heaven until it's true in your life. You're not faking it, you're forming it. And that's the key right there. Your statement isn't permanent, it's progress. And you're not creating the perfect, whether it's your brand message, whether you're setting you're setting your soul's compass. And when you're doing what you're doing, you have to become who you desire to help other people to become. And victory begins with natural outcomes of putting God's word first. It says the fruit of the Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, and this part, patience. You got to have that. And that's in Galatians 5:22. So if you want peace, you got to be peace. If you want breakthrough, you got to go through breakthroughs. Don't chase the fruit, become the fruit, cultivate the roots, because nothing, like absolutely nothing, works against the nature of God. And once you understand that, that's when transformation takes place. And in the circumstances that you're in right now, they will change, just like that baby changed, just like we talked about. It says, and God raised us up with Christ and seated us with him in the heavenly realms in Ephesians 2:6. So remember, you are seated above and you win by resting. That's the paradox and the power of the kingdom. Rest in your weapon. Your stillness makes the enemy retreat. They're like, what is she doing? What is he doing? You got to have faith and you got to have patience. They're not rivals. They're teammates. They're together. And it is through that faith and through that patience that we inherit his promise. We inherit what God has for us. Hebrews 6:12 says, faith reaches, patience hold, and together they make you unshakable. So if you're ready to become unshakable, what do you do now, right? Just start simple. Write out the statement, then say it, then live it. It's going to be awkward, it's going to be imperfect, but do it daily. And you can give yourself 90 seconds a day to speak it until you feel it. Give yourself 6 months, not 6 minutes, to believe it without trying. And then guess what? Give that identity space to breathe in your decisions, to breathe in your relationship, to breathe in your business, to breathe in your prayer life. Because when your identity is clear, your path becomes obvious. You know where you're going and your obstacles shrink. It doesn't feel the same. I was talking to my brother yesterday, and we were just talking about, where you're at and where you're going. He's like, you remind me of my boss because you don't let anything phase you. I said, well, when I was your age, I did let things phase me because I didn't get it. But after you go through so much, after you have wins and breakthroughs and breakdowns, and you center yourself in God, you then start to see like none of it matters. It's just part of who am I becoming. And it's not a loss, it's a lesson. How can I turn that loss into a lesson? It's not a victory, it's a move forward to the next level. There's always a next level. So when you're thinking about what you're called to do, just remember this: you don't need another system. You need a starting sentence. Just write it, speak it, update it, but don't wait. You right there, you are that mission, and your confession is your launch pad. So go launch. And if you need help with this, as we're helping you to develop your life, your business, you can go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com, BibleBusinessAcademy.com. And that's some of the places where we're going to help you become who God called you to become. I hope this brought you value today. Again, my name is Cathy McReynolds. If you found value, drop it in the comments and let us know. Let us know if you caught it doing the live or replay, and make sure you share this with someone else who needs to hear this message and know that their identity comes first, and then the outcome will follow. Y'all have a great day. We will talk to you tomorrow on Faith and Freedom Friday. He turned me around. He placed my feet on solid ground. All right, y'all. We'll